2026 is going to be a pretty big year. Two major nations are celebrating huge birthdays. The United States is turning 250, and the Italian Republic is turning 80. It's a moment we're calling Two Anniversaries One Heart. So, what better time to dig into the deep and, honestly, sometimes surprising Italian roots that helped shape the very idea of American greatness?
So let me start with a big question for you. When you think about what makes a nation truly great, who comes to mind? Probably presidents, maybe some generals, famous inventors, the names we all learn in school. But the history books, well, they don't always tell the whole story. What if the real foundation was built by people working just out of the spotlight?
That's what we're talking about today, the hidden architects. These are the folks who quietly but powerfully weave the fabric of a culture. We're going to uncover the stories of three absolutely remarkable Italian immigrants who did exactly that, leaving a permanent mark on the United States in ways you probably never expected. Okay, so our first story kicks off right in the heart of American democracy, with an artist who basically brought the epic scale of Rome to Washington, D.C. His name was Costantino Brumidi. I mean, just look at this. If you have ever tilted your head back inside the U.S. Capitol Dome, you have seen his masterpiece, the Apotheosis of Washington. It's got to be one of the most iconic pieces of art in the entire country, a literal symbol of American ideals and power. But here is the craziest part. The artist behind this masterpiece of Americana, he wasn't from Philly or Boston. Nope. He was a political exile from Rome who had to flee his home country, arriving in a brand new world with his incredible talent and not much else. And listen, Brumidi wasn't just some guy who could paint. Think about the pedigree he brought with him. He was trained in the Vatican workshops. He literally restored works by the great master Raphael. He carried centuries of Italian artistic tradition right across the ocean with him. And this quote really nails his contribution. He wasn't just slapping some paint on a ceiling. He was using the grand visual language of Rome, of epic frescoes and high drama, to basically create a founding myth for America. He was giving a young republic a powerful visual identity it didn't have before. All right, for our second story, we're going to jump from the heights of civic art right into the heart of the American home. And we're talking about a name that I bet almost every single one of you recognizes, even if you don't know the amazing story behind it. Chef Boiardi. Come on, that smiling face in the chef's hat is an absolute icon of the American pantry. But behind that familiar logo is the incredible story of Ettore Boiardi, an immigrant from Emilia-Romagna who actually fundamentally changed the way America eats. The genius is right there in the name itself, Boiardi. He wasn't trying to erase his heritage. It was a brilliant marketing move. He built a cultural bridge, making his name and his food super accessible to all Americans without losing that Italian soul. His whole journey to fame started at his restaurant in Cleveland. His customers loved his food so much that they started begging for his sauce to take home. And that's when the light bulb went off, sparking the idea that launched a nationwide brand and brought the taste of Italy into millions of American homes, many for the very first time. But Boiardi's story goes way beyond the grocery store. His greatest contribution to his new country, well, it wasn't measured in cans sold. It was measured in a truly staggering number: tens of millions. See, during World War II, Boiardi completely transformed his company for the war effort. His Cleveland plant ran 24/7, pumping out tens of millions of rations for American soldiers. Just think about that for a second. This Italian immigrant was literally feeding the U.S. Army. What an incredible symbol of loyalty and contribution. Now, our third hidden architect, she tackled a crisis not of war, but of mass migration. She was a woman of incredible faith, sure, but her true genius, it was in her organizational skill and her absolute, unwavering dedication to the people everyone else had forgotten. To really get her impact, you have to wrap your head around the sheer scale of what was happening. Between 1880 and 1920, over 4 million Italians came to the United States, a lot of them with absolutely nothing, facing just unimaginable hardship. So when Francesca Cabrini arrived in New York in 1889, this is what she saw. It wasn't streets paved with gold. It was communities crushed by poverty, struggling with disease, and feeling completely and utterly isolated. The need for help was absolutely desperate. And her response to this crisis was just mind-blowing. It went so far beyond just prayer. Cabrini was a master organizer, a builder. She saw systemic problems, and she created concrete, systemic solutions designed to help her community not just survive, but actually thrive.
And just look at what she built, a massive network of social support right from the ground up. Schools to fight illiteracy, orphanages for kids who had no one, hospitals where immigrants could finally get care with dignity. By the time she passed away, she had founded 67 institutions all across the country. It's just astonishing.
This quote, it just captures the spirit of her work so beautifully. She knew that building a new life in America wasn't about slamming the door on your identity, but about opening new doors to the future. And for this incredible lifetime of service, this Italian immigrant who became a proud U.S. citizen received a truly singular honor. In 1946, Francesca Cabrini was canonized, becoming the very first American saint in history.
So you've got an artist, a chef, and a saint. What do these three stories tell us when we bring them all together? Well, they reveal this profound shared legacy.
I mean, whether it was defining the visual identity of the nation's capital or defining what was inside its kitchen pantries, the contributions of these immigrants were just vast and so varied. They brought their skills, their culture, their vision, and in doing that, they helped build the America that we all know today. And really, this is the big takeaway, isn't it? The movement of people is also the movement of ideas. It's a transfer of skills, of culture, of new ways of seeing the world. And that kind of transfer doesn't just add to a nation, it fundamentally strengthens it. Which really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The work of building a nation, it never really ends. Brumidi, Boiardi, and Cabrini were the hidden architects of their time. So the real question is, who are the hidden architects shaping our world right now? And are we paying close enough attention to actually see them?